Hello our dear viewers, and welcome to our show Diet Myths. Today we're going to be covering the second part of weight loss tips from around the world. Now I hope you enjoyed part 1 of this episode, and now we're going to take a look at different countries, other countries around the world, and what they have to offer. So last we hit India, so today let's take a look at Japan and their recommendation. So what Japan recommends is taking a nap more often. Not only do naps help you de-stress and feel better, especially when they're constricted to 30 minutes a day, so not more. Naps also, help prevent that snacking in the evening. Now I know many of us, especially here in Kuwait, our evening snack time is very sacred. This is when the tea comes out, the dessert comes out, and other foods, come out, especially after a meal. So sometimes taking a nap can prevent you from overeating during that period of time. It might be worthwhile your consideration. Another thing is, for example, Russia really recommends growing your own food. Now I know sometimes it's hard, especially because of the desert weather here in Kuwait, but maybe, considering growing your own herbs or growing your own, small plants that can supply you with these garnishes for your food may be beneficial. And whenever you get the chance, there are many farms out here in Kuwait that do offer these organic produces that you can go and pick out. And therefore you're limiting the amounts of maybe pesticides and other unwanted food. And when you do grow your own food, you end up focusing more on vegetables and fruits and these other healthy parts that I really think, can help you lose weight and not help you overeat, especially the vegetables. Also, growing your own fruit can be interesting, and you can limit it to growing a lot of things like apples or maybe these citrus fruits. Again, it may be difficult in Kuwait, and it may not be, like a tip that we can really take literally here, but we can try. And like I've said previously, if you can't grow your own fruit, at least aim to shop more in the fruit and vegetable sections of the grocery stores and avoid the middle sections that has a lot of processed foods and these unwanted foods that really have a lot of, preservatives and GMOs and things that are not really good for you. Now I want you guys to stay tuned. We're going to take a look at other countries and what they have to offer. And some of them do have to offer a lot of these interesting herbs and spices that we can add to our food. So it's worthwhile staying tuned. See you guys in a bit. Welcome back, our dear viewers. So now let's take a look at Mexico. Now what Mexico recommends, or what their traditional habits are, they include eating more at lunch. So making lunch your biggest meal. Now, lunch in many parts of the world is around 5 p.m., so very late, more of a lunch/dinner. Luckily here in Kuwait, our lunches are earlier in the day, so they're around 2 or 3 p.m. and you can actually take that tip and indulge in a bigger lunch. I always recommend, for breakfast to be your biggest meal, although sometimes that might be difficult. But Mexico promises that if you have a big lunch, a lunch of course filled with many high fiber foods, that you can actually feel fuller, therefore eat less during the day, and especially during dinner time. So that might be a tip that's worth considering. I really don't know how much it could be helping you in weight loss. Now, another tip, and that, comes from different areas in the world, like Japan, they recommend, or actually Hungary recommends eating more pickles. So the idea is these pickled foods, are really good for you. They include a lot of vinegar in them because that's what they're soaked in. So they will help produce like fat cells. Now, I don't know how much vinegar or pickles can help reduce your fat cells, but they could be helpful because they are fermented products, and we've seen so much research being done on fermented products, especially in Asia, so we see in Japan and a lot of these areas where they rely heavily on fermented cabbage and fermented, soy and other products like that, and their benefits on their health. So it really could be something worth considering. Now, if we head over to Malaysia, Malaysia recommends consuming more turmeric in your food. Now, we've seen a lot of research done on turmeric, and basically they focus on the compound called curcumin in turmeric. So that compound is very potent. It's been found to have a lot of antioxidants in them, a lot of anti-cancer effects. So there's definitely no harm in consuming turmeric in your foods. It's something worth considering, but what Malaysia advocates about this curcumin product is that it could help reduce fat cells. Now, I can't personally vouch for that. I don't know if it will really reduce your fat cells, but there's always no harm in adding some spice or some herb to your food, especially if it enhances the flavor, and you've got nothing to lose with that. So we've got a couple more countries to cover. Stay tuned and we'll be right back. Welcome back, our dear viewers. So now we're going to take a look at South Africa. And I'm sure if anyone has been to South Africa, you'll know that they're really famous for their rooibos tea. And basically their idea is this rooibos tea, gives you this kind of sweet flavor. So it's a great drink to have after lunch or after a meal. It's really zero calorie drink, so you're not getting many calories out of it, which is perfect and our recommendation. And they think that it has a more potent flavor than green tea. So if you're ever looking for a type of tea that will give you more of a robust flavor, maybe you should consider, consuming this rooibos tea. Now, I've seen it somewhere in the supermarket, and I know it's available in some parts. So you can consider having that and seeing if the sweet tooth from that tea really helps you. Personally, sometimes when I want that sweet flavor from a tea, I do consider having some fennel tea. And now fennel tea also has a sweet aftertaste that you can indulge in after your meals, and it's so much better for you to have that as opposed to having your sodas or your fruit juices that just, pound up to so many calories. Now, like we've said it previously and in so many episodes, we really don't like it when you get your calories from a liquid. It's just unnecessary and it's not filling and it doesn't give you any benefit. So consider always getting your calories from a food item, from a whole food item, so some food item with fiber. And like we've discussed previously, green tea, rooibos tea, fennel tea, as well as many other herbal teas really have a lot of, benefits. Like they can aid in digestion, they can aid with stomach ease. Sometimes if you're sick, some things like ginger and lemon can really help you feel better, and they don't amount to all these crazy calories. So that's it for all the different weight loss tips from the different countries around the world. I really hope you enjoyed them. And as you see, we really do adapt, and we've taken so many of our own weight loss tips and combined them with other nationalities and other nations and cultures and made them their own. So consider these different tips and consider your own tips, things that you've grown up with or that you've seen, your grandparents or your great-grandparents, advise you to do. Because there are some truth to these tips, and everything comes from a story. So there's a reasoning why they said these things. So I want you to consider all of these things the next time you sit down for a meal. Please take your time when you're having your meal. Consider including a lot of fiber in it. And if you ever want to, have something sweet after the meal, consider rooibos or fennel tea or other Swedish drinks that you can have that don't contribute to any calories. I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode, and we'll see you all next time.